Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for, this is your bonus May reading. One of my favorite people of all time, Greg Braden, says, when your head and your heart become one, you can move mountains, or you will move mountains. So we are going to take a look at your head in this first row. We are going to take a look at your heart in this second row, and then we are going to look at how you can make those two things one so that you can move some mountains in your life. As I've been saying to everybody else, these mountains don't have to be challenges, right? I think when we think of the word mountains, we think that these are challenges or something difficult. It could be a challenge that you're trying to overcome, but it could also just be something you're trying to manifest. It could be a wish, a dream, a goal, pretty much anything. So that's what we're going to look at here, is how you can do that here, Leo. But Leo, make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. And again, these readings are timeless, so they are for whenever you watch them. But let's see here, Leo, what we have going on for you. You start off here in the area of your head with the Co-Create with Spirit card. So I do feel like working with Spirit is going to be very important for you. I kind of feel like you are working with Spirit at this time. I think the only thing that you could be resisting is a change here, going from the Eight of Pentacles to the Death card. That's like the only maybe resistance, and your answer is very simple. It just says follow your heart, Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is an energy of wholehearted energy. I always say Queen of Wands, she puts everything she's got into whatever she's working on. She kind of goes in, dives in head first, right? She's a card of courage and being bold and being assertive. So I feel for a lot of you, currently your head is in the right place. It's like you're willing to invest or fully dive into something that you want to manifest in your life, whatever mountain you want to climb or whatever mountain you want to move. You have the Eight of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles here. Definitely like abundance mindset, and I would say that if you're feeling a lack of abundance mindset right now, I do feel that this reading is asking you to kind of like focus on abundance in this first row. So I feel that for a lot of you, focusing or keeping things more positive, keeping things more abundance focused would be a really good idea for you here. For others, I feel like you're kind of like working very hard, and that Queen of Wands is really just your brain saying, I think it's like your head that is guiding you to just kind of go for something here. I feel that the other message I'm getting here, Leo, is that anything that will make you stretch would be very, very good for you here. So it's like if you're trying to like grow your business, then I would be looking for something that forces you to stretch a little bit, especially mentally, because I feel like right now, if things are stagnant or if things are not moving in your life, it's almost like this first row is saying that you're not being challenged enough. So I feel like, kind of finding something that's maybe a little bit more challenging would be very beneficial. But you have the Ten of Cups here, the Six of Cups as well, and the, the Page of Wands. Definitely a very solid first row. Ten of Cups is fortune after difficulty, happiness. Six of Cups is like gifts from the universe, and that Page of Wands is willing to go on an adventure. So like I said, I feel like your head is in the right place. It's funny because pretty much everybody I've read for, it's like their heart has been more in the right place, right? It hasn't been their head. And for you, it's your head like, I feel like mentally you're kind of like going in the right direction. The things that you're imagining or the things that you're dreaming of having in your life are like totally in alignment with the universe. I feel like what you are thinking is correct, is what this first row is saying. It's going to lead to happiness. So like if you're thinking to yourself, oh, if I start a business and if I, do this and that, then I'll have everything I want. You're probably right with this first row. If you're thinking that you want to find a certain type of love in your life, you're probably right, is what this is saying. Ten of Cups is, everything you desire. Happy home, happy family. So, even in love, this is definitely saying you're going in the right direction. In the area of your heart, you have the All That Glitters card. And this card says that all that glitters is not gold. There are masks on the gold here on this card, Leo, and it kind of says that not everything may be as it appears. But I feel this is more of like a fear. It's like your head, again, is telling you that something is your happily ever after. The Ten of Cups is fortune after difficulty, but it's also happily ever after. It's like getting everything you desire in your life. So it's like your head is telling you that something that you want to achieve, or whatever this mountain that you want to move is your happily ever after. But it's almost like you could be doubting it within your heart. What that means is that your heart kind of represents like It could be where you put your energy. So you could be kind of doubting putting your energy into love, for example. You could be doubting whether to start that business, or you could be doubting whether you should take action on something here with this energy. You have the Death card, the King of Cups, and the Five of Wands. Thinking too much about past difficulties and challenges. I also feel like you need to control your emotions with this King of Cups. King of Cups is normally sitting in choppy waters, and it kind of represents the fact that no matter what is going on around him, he is able to control his emotions. So I do feel you need to really kind of control your emotions with this King of Cups energy. And I feel like it's asking you to do that. I feel like it's asking you to use your emotions to create your own reality. The Five of Wands is kind of like the fear of the adventure. Five of Wands is a card of conflict and competition. There are normally 5 people fighting on the Five of Wands, but they're using sticks. They're not using swords. So as I always say, I mean, to me, the Five of Wands is not that bad of a card because it's not really a card of fighting. It's more of a card of training. I used to call this card Indiana Jones, right? And, to me, it represents needing to go through some crazy journey or going on a crazy journey to get your treasure. And so for some of you, I feel like your heart is kind of like fearing going on an adventure. I feel like your heart is kind of resisting having to go on some sort of crazy journey where there might be challenges, there might be obstacles, but at the same time, there is treasure where you are going, is what this is saying. You're happily ever after, your dream life, it exists, but you're definitely going to have to go through some things to get there, right? Leo. And I always say, like, I always get comments from people that are like, oh, I've had it so hard, and like all this other stuff, like, giving me their sob story. I get it, trust me. That life is hard, right? But at the same time, the harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. And that's what this middle row is saying. So it's like, I feel like it's really pushing you to do it here, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So let's see here. You have the Magician. Yep, I feel like you need to trust and use your powers of manifestation. I feel like you need to dream big. The Magician is pointing towards the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords, normally in the top corner, there's a person receiving blessings in the stained glass window that's on the Four of Swords. So it's like you're dreaming of blessings here. You have the Seven of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles twice. Love it. Nine of Pentacles like pre-Empress energy. So it's like you're getting ready, you're about to be stepping into this very abundant future. I really feel that Seven of Pentacles is saying be careful where you put your energy. So like I said, I feel this middle row is pretty simple, really, Leo. I feel like it's just asking you to give energy only to things that are, moving the needle forward. I feel like it's going to be very important for you to give energy to things that, kind of make you feel abundant and happy and all those other good things as well. And I would withdraw your energy from anything that makes you feel weak or anything like that. That is more kind of like Five of Pentacles energy, but I am getting it here in this middle row that I would kind of like focus on things that make you feel strong. I would also focus on kind of like the tools that you are using here with the Magician card. The Magician represents having mastery. He has mastery over all the suits in the tarot, but it can also kind of say like, make sure you're using the right tool for the job. So for some of you, it's like you could be trying to force things to work with money, or you could be trying to force things to work with your emotions or whatever. And it just says, try something else, try something different, and you'll be very successful. Mixing it all together, you have the Knight of Cups here. Again, your dream life. Knight of Cups, he is normally looking into that cup and he is imagining or dreaming his dream life. He is imagining or dreaming everything that he wants and desires. But he has to kind of like cross something emotionally. There's normally a river that is running in front of the Knight of Cups, and it kind of says that he has to cross something to get what he truly desires and what he truly wants. But he's kind of like hesitating here, and he could be hesitating because he's like fearing the emotion, right? So I feel like for some of you, you need to use your emotions here, but it's also a card of needing to move towards your dreams. You have the Four of Swords, the Judgment card, and the Hangman. I feel like this is saying answer the call, this whole entire row here. This is like you having a wake-up call. It's like you've had a wake-up call, you know what you need to do, or you need to do something to get moving in life, but you just have to do it with this energy. So I feel like you just have to get moving here, Leo, and I feel like you just need to get on the right path. Even the Hangman is like saying, what are you waiting for, right? Hangman is a card of enlightenment, and it's a card where we put ourselves in hangman mode on purpose, and it's not necessarily a bad thing because we're just gaining enlightenment. We are looking for answers, but the hangman here, I feel, is kind of saying you have your answers. You know what you need to do now, so it's time for you to take action here with this energy. I feel like you're feeling pulled towards something that is like more your purpose. We might have to pull an extra row here to get more details on like the purpose side of things, but you have the Five of Swords here with the Four of Swords. Walk away from things that no longer serve you. You have the Page of Pentacles, new beginning, new calling. Page of Pentacles is messages as well. It's almost like you could be receiving messages from the universe, and these messages are guiding you towards something that you truly want to do. And the Ace of Cups, your heart. It's funny because a lot of people have had the Ace of Cups in their last row, and the Ace of Cups is in a reading like this. Again, this last row is meant to represent mixing these two energies together so that you can move mountains, right? And so the Ace of Cups is your heart. Just says your heart is telling you that it wants to do something. Your heart is telling you it wants new love. It wants new business. It wants whatever it wants, right? And this is kind of like saying learn and take action. Move towards it. I do feel like learning with that Page of Pentacles would be very beneficial for you because the Page of Pentacles is the card of studiousness. It's a card of, if you don't know how to do something, learn. If you are trying to start a business, learn. It's also kind of like saying, I think, I'm trying to think of a good way to word this message I'm getting right now. But it's like sometimes I think people think like, oh, if I start a business, then I'm going to fail and then I'll never have any money or whatever. But I always tell people, it's like, no, if you start a business and you learn, you're gaining a bunch of skills. It's like those skills will never leave you. You'll always have those skills. So it's like I think sometimes people prevent themselves from starting businesses because they're afraid that they're going to fail and then they'll never be successful again. But I think what you should be telling yourself is even if I do fail, I'll have learned something and then I'll be able to just start over again and I'll be able to pick up where I left off. It's like you're not really. I think too many people have that thought that they're if they fail that they're going to be starting from scratch, right? But it's like we never truly start from scratch unless you're a baby. Right? That's the only time. Being born, that's the only time you're starting from scratch, right? So it's like this whole reading, I feel like it's trying to give you confidence is the best way I can say it, where it's like saying, putting it all together, really, I feel maybe that's not a very exciting message, although I don't know, I'm a nerd. I think it is exciting. But what I would say to you is I feel like this is saying that you're never truly starting from scratch. You're starting from a place of wisdom. And that's what you need to realize. Right here. I feel like that is your wake-up call. I feel like your wake-up call is the fact that you're never truly starting over. So I feel like you need to get started on something new. Page of Pentacles. Let's get more details. I just want to get a little more detail. I haven't really done this for any of the other signs, but I want to get more details on something new. Two of Swords. You're going somewhere you've never been before, right? You have the Tower. Yes, definitely rebuilding, starting over, starting something new. And you have the Strength card, you showing up in a very strong position here. So, like I said, I feel like you are starting something new, starting something over here with this energy. It's like, I think in life, it's like we're not meant to have jobs, right? We're not meant to have careers. Because it stops growth. It's like you're always just staying at the same level. And so I feel you have this really, like this very deep hunger for knowledge, but maybe you don't know that. Maybe you don't know that what you are craving is new experiences, right? It's like, I think that, having a career or job is kind of like totally against human nature because it's like we're not meant to just like do one thing. I think we're meant to learn and grow, and that's why we're here. We're meant to create our own reality, right? And if that is one thing for you, that is one thing. But for you, Leo, the Two of Swords is like going to new lands. It's like experiencing something you've never experienced before. The tower falls when things have become too common. The tower falls when things have become too much the same in our lives. And you have the Leo card here, the Strength card right here. So that's a display of strength. Let's see. Yeah, you have the Strength card again coming up in this row. You have the Two of Cups, perfect match for you here in something new. And you have the Temperance card. Yeah, Temperance is kind of like a card of patience, but it's a card of going through a transformation. Very deep transformation going on here. And again, these readings aren't meant to be positive or negative. This particular reading, this head and heart reading, it's meant to give you advice on what you need to do to mix your head and your heart together. So again, there's no positive or negative there. So just because you have a tower doesn't mean anything. I think it's more just saying that, again, your journey, part of your journey is gathering knowledge, and that's going to be the most important thing for you here, Leo. But that's pretty interesting. Again, as I always say, this has been coming up a lot lately, Judgment and Tower in the same reading. especially right next to each other. To me, that is a major revelation, a major wake-up call. So it would not surprise me if at the time of you watching this reading that you have some sort of major wake-up call or revelation here. And this could be coming in the form of a person who's delivering a message to you. It could be love, but it doesn't have to be. It could be anything. But I feel like someone is like revealing something to you here, like an inner truth or, about you, about yourself. For some of you, it's kind of funny because it's popping into my head as something very small. This could be one of those things where it's like you watch, maybe you watch something on TV or something and it causes like you to totally change your life. And that might sound ridiculous, but I've talked about this in interviews. I remember years ago, I watched this documentary about some lady dying of cancer. And she was like begging for life. It totally changed my life when I watched that simple documentary, right? Because I was like, holy crap, here I am, I'm doing nothing with my life. And this lady would like kill to be in my position, literally. And she's about to die, and she did die in this documentary. And so I know that's dark, but that's what I'm getting here, Leo. Is like something is going to happen to you. I'm not saying it like that, but it's like something seemingly small is going to happen. But I feel like it's going to have a very big impact on your life. So I would just pay attention to any messages, daydreams, pretty much anything you get. But very significant change coming in for you. So love it. So thank you for being here, Leo. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. Also, feel free to like and subscribe. Really appreciate the support. But thank you, Leo, and definitely enjoy your month.